All right, you ready to rock and roll?
No, I'm exhausted, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
I know the feeling. Thank you.
Of course. I
It's
feel so bad.
I so know we have 18 in now, so here we go. Letting them in. Everybody, welcome. Thank you for being here tonight.
Yes, thank you guys.
I have it set. We changed some settings. Hi, I'm waving. Hi, I see you, Stephanie. We changed some settings so that it's impossible for someone to take over a screen. So if you were here last week, hopefully that doesn't happen again this week. If you want to speak up, raise your hand up. We'll unmute you. Yeah, so you can chat and you can raise your hand, and then we'll be able to unmute you, and then we can talk more that way. Tonight, I think we're going to have a little more of an intimate meeting. I think it's really important that we have this and we start talking about where people are and we start activating. We've had now we're at 200 volunteers. We haven't been able to reach everybody. And so, because it's a daunting number to call 200 people. It's very difficult, especially with all the other responsibilities that we have. So, hopefully, tonight, we can start to maybe assign some people to take action and call each other and group up, and that's really critical. So I was looking for Jason Beebe. I don't know if he's going to be on here tonight, but we are going through and sort of appointing some leadership positions. The very first call we went over like an organizational chart. And we're also finding that we may have to do things a little bit differently, but I think it's really important that we have somebody who's kind of responsible, at least in each county, to gather, to organize, to be like a bridge to me or to Michaela or to Stephen Jonkis, so that we can sort of solve problems as we're going as an organization. I really want to, I think it's really key that we build an effective organization. I think it's absolutely critical. That's what we need to have. And we got a cat. We got a cat over here. I'm like ADD. Anyway, that's very cute. But we need to be an effective organization and go get these signatures. So I'm thinking that I'm looking for Jason. Jason's not in here yet. That's
Can we tell
fine.
them the quick update though, what we've done since last week?
Yeah, what have we done since last week?
Well, we got the petitions on the website, which was great, but we also got a PO box so that people can send them to us after they're signed. So that was I think a big step just because you guys can actually start gathering signatures and you can start sending them into us. There's a central location for them to be received. We're going to be controlling all the petitions from one area. And if you're down in the Southern Oregon area, specifically Roseburg, if you're near me and you'd like to be part of that team, I'm definitely looking for people that I can trust to help manage those petitions. But I think that was a huge win for us to get that PO box and have a place where you guys can start sending those in and we can start collecting the initial 1,000. So we need 1,000 to begin with, and then we move on to our big number, but 1,000 to start with.
Yeah, have we checked the PO box? Because there's a bunch of people on X saying that they're signing and sending them in.
Yes, I saw that, and that is amazing. I have been up in Portland, and I literally just got home like 10 minutes before this call. So that is on my checklist for tomorrow to go and check the PO box and see what's been sent in. And I think what we're sort of envisioning is like letting you guys help track with us as we're getting signatures. We'll probably put some sort of tracker on the website so you guys can kind of gauge, where we are with our goal. But I will be reporting those updates to Ben, and, we'll be communicating with you guys about sort of where we stand with our, goals.
Right on. Yeah, because as we move forward every week, it's really going to be about who's new, who's joined in, who's taking action, how many signatures we've got, because that's the main metric, right? Is like how many signatures we're at. But this first initial piece is setting up a leadership infrastructure across the state, and that's really key.
Absolutely. Well,
Um,
Connie just asked too, what's the deadline to get the 1,000 signatures? There isn't really a deadline for the initial 1,000 signatures, but it is a checkpoint that we need to get through. So our main deadline is not until 2026. I don't know if everybody is aware of that, but it is, oh my gosh, don't quote me on this. I think it's 90 days past sign die. And we don't know what that date is yet because they have not, well, it all depends on the legislature, first of all, and they also have not released the election calendar for 2026. So we do not have a firm date on when all of the signatures are due, but basically our goal is out in 2026. But it is important for us to gather the initial signatures quickly. And I think it also shows some confidence that Oregonians are really interested in this if we can collect those quickly.
Very good. Yep. So someone just asked to share that org chart. Let me pull it up. No. Let me see if I can grab it. Yeah, I'll drop that I'll drop that in right now. It's pretty basic, and we're going to be making some changes to it. It's in the chat right now. And we're saying chair, but I don't like that word. We'll mix this up. This is a little bit, we're going to fix this. But this is the general idea. We have to have probably, we got to have the key players right now are the county directors, because there has to be somebody in every county that can know who's really leading and taking action. Because when with Free Oregon, one of the things we learned right away is that in politics, there's a lot of people that talk and do nothing. Talk lots, do nothing. So we ended up creating an organization where we did stuff. And if you didn't do anything, you kind of just got, moved off to the side. It's about taking action. So, and it's not, we don't do it on you're out of here. It's more because we do something, even if you can get 10 signatures a week. If you look at the number of weeks before 90 days past sin die, that's a healthy contribution. So it's not doing something is really all that matters. Do something, and it feels good. It feels so much better than I love to say whatever I want to in the public arena because I work real hard. So I'm not saying that out of resentment because I'm powerless and because I'm a victim. I'm actually saying it because it's the truth and because I work my ass off, because I fight for the people. Even though I've never been elected, I've been chosen to represent a lot of people. And so I fight for you. I fight for the people I represent. And so it feels good. I sleep good at night. I don't have anything negative in my heart. It's a cool thing. Taking action is a relief. And so I know you know that. But we'll make some changes. So one of the things I wanted to do, and I'll share screen for a little bit, but I know sharing screen's kind of stupid. I want to get more into just having a discussion. We'll
Yeah, you have a question in the chat too, Ben, and I know we didn't get to everybody's questions last time. This is something Ben and I talked about. We want to make sure you guys feel like you're part of this movement, you're part of this organization, you're part of the decision making, and that you have an opportunity to ask questions. So we're going to do our best to make sure that we're getting you information and also pausing to answer questions. So Stephanie asked, so how do you choose county coordinators? Do we throw our hats in right now? And if you are interested in being a county coordinator, that's a huge job. Absolutely reach out to us. Stephanie, I don't know if you want to put your county in the chat or if you just want to reach out to Ben and I by email.
Yeah, what's your county?
You probably got to unmute her. I don't think she can respond.
You're getting unmuted, Stephanie.
Oh, thank you. I'm in the great county of Multnomah.
Oh, my home county.
The weirdest of the weird of Portland, basically, of all kinds, left, right, middle, just weird people all over the place. I love it, really. because I'm kind of weird.
Yeah,
So
it's home for me. I never thought I'd not live in Multnomah County, but here I am. So, are you part of the Multnomah County Republican Central Committee?
I am nothing. I am a member of the Republican Party, and I've been looking for an opportunity where it looks like it's actually going to do something, and this is it. So everything I see online, all the complaints from all over the state, always come back to the fact of our shitty elected officials who aren't doing their jobs. So I figured that the only way we're ever going to resolve that is by getting rid of vote by mail. So here I am.
Right on. I love it. That's how I feel too. I think there's some pushback with our strategy, but I think our strategy is so solid and it's already working. We've had Tobias Reed, Tina Kotek, Von Griffin or whatever. They've all come out and made statements about how secure our elections are. Like, these people are crazy. They're election deniers. But here's the reality. I have great relationships with a few very high profile Portland politicians, and they called me day after election. They said, and I'm going to quote them exactly, so please forgive me, but they said that didn't fucking happen. Okay, they called me, and I'm like, I know, and this is what makes me excited because we made them have to cheat. We made them have to take actions that make it so obvious. And that's what I was calling for even before election day. I was like, go vote. You gotta vote. Make them pull something crazy that makes it obvious. And there were so many huge, obvious, glaring things that went down. They're not gonna be able to cover it up. And that's why they're so touchy about this, and they're already responding. The most powerful Democrats in this state are responding to our actions. And so I think it gives me a lot of hope and a lot of energy. So I love that, Stephanie. Is there anybody else here in Multnomah County? Just raise your hand. All right, that was quick.
People might not know how to raise their hand.
Yeah, there's a little, I don't even know if I know how to raise my hand because I always host these things. Anyway, there's got to be a way. Where is it? Raise hand. I think you tap your own screen. Who knows how to raise their hand? Michaela, I know you know.
I'm looking at it right now. I think it's in reactions.
Reacted. Yeah, react.
Yeah, it is. It's under reactions. But people can also put it in the chat if that's easier. Just say Multnomah in the chat and we'll find you.
Perfect. Yeah, so I love that. And let's talk about it, Stephanie. I'm going to drop my phone number in the chat right now.
Sure. I mean, I don't necessarily feel like I'm the perfect person, but who is going to be the perfect person? No perfect person is going to arrive. It's me. It's you.
That's what we are.
So,
we did not choose to be in these positions, it's that we have the passion to want to make a difference and to want to change things. And that passion is amazing. Thank you for stepping up.
Love that. Stephanie, shoot me a text. So the way to reach me, this is the best way to get in touch with me. And it's difficult because I have one phone number and like 50,000 people have it because it's on my website and it's just there. I just have one number. But text me your name and text me what it's about and give me a little info. I will save you in my phone and we will connect. And I'll promise you we will. So that's the best way to do it.
Hey, can we celebrate Corey Stevens really quickly? Has 9 signatures. 9
Where's
signatures.
Corey?
It's in the chat. Corey Stevens. I have 9 signatures. I'll be getting more this weekend.
Corey.
Yo.
Corey, I love you. I don't know if you guys know about Corey Stevens, but she worked for OHA and refused to take the vaccine, and they made her go to work. Corey, say right now if you don't want me to tell this story, but I've told it before, so I figure you're good with it. But they made her wear a PAPR, which at work, which is like a spacesuit. It wasn't because she wouldn't get it, so they made her wear this spacesuit, and we put the pictures online back in the early Free Oregon days to show like how insane this was, and it's so insane. But Corey is like a hero to me because she put that PAPR on and she went to work. And I mean, I'm telling you, it makes the hair on my arm stand up with gratitude for people like her. And so, Corey, I'm glad you're here, and you already got 9 signatures. Let's do this. I tell you what, let's get to it. I want to show you on the website because there's a question on the chat on how do you get the petitions, and this is all I want to do. Michaela, next week, Michaela's going to do a more in-depth training on how to gather signatures, and then we'll both tag team it to try to gather and build an organization where you are, because I have a feeling with the people who are here today, you guys are the leaders. You guys are going to be the ones that are going to be making stuff happen. And so, you know, because we don't have any like flashy people like Dr. Frank to come in and bring the big crowds like we had last week. But it's, and he is, I love that guy. He's awesome. He's flashy.
I do too. He's awesome. You should wear a bow tie. You might bring more people in, Ben.
I can't wear, I got to wear V-necks, man. I get so claustrophobic if even there's a little bit of constriction. But they have, so we'll talk a little bit about how to build your organization, and we'll be able to do that because I have some experience doing that. Michaela has a lot of experience doing that. She's a big ringleader in Southern Oregon. And so we'll go through a bunch of that next week. But today I'll go real fast and I'll share screen here in a minute. But I just want to show everybody how to get to the petitions. And then Michaela, you jump in any time because Michaela is a procedural person. She understands rules and procedures like nobody else. And I'm one of those rule and procedure breakers. And so
it's exhausting, by the way. It's exhausting.
It's totally exhausting. So you jump in, Michaela, anytime, but I'm going to share screen and then show people how to get this done. Let me see here. Share my screen. Okay. All right. I'm assuming you see the ENDVBM.com. Is that right? You guys looking at what I'm looking at? All right. I got 3 screens. It's never a bad idea to confirm. So you go to ENDVBM.com. Okay. It's right here. And you can go right here to sign it. You can also get it down here, sign it. But this is where we are right now. So I'm going to click sign it. And then I might even like change this URL to just sign it. So sign it, sign it. That's what we say. So right here.
Really quick, before you move on to the next point, a lot of people are looking at this from their cell phones. It looks a little bit different on your cell phone. You're probably going to have 3 bars for your menu.
True.
And I think you just added the menu item that says sign it. So if you don't see sign it right up at the top, click on the 3-bar menu to drop down and you'll see sign it. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's a great. Thank you for saying that. So if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see it. It's the second level of the website on the mobile, but otherwise, yes, click they call it the hamburger, those 3 lines, click that and you'll be able to see sign it. So you can download the sheet right here by clicking that button. So this is the cover sheet, and the cover sheet has to go with every single petition, okay? Whether it's the e-signature one or the e-sheet they call it, or if it's the 10-line sheet. But you have to have that cover sheet with even the e-sheet. So you always have to download or print out the petition cover sheet. And I'm going to go over like the paper requirements. And I'll tell you, Michaela and I both work. Michaela's an elected official. She's the chair of the Umpqua Public Transportation District. And I'm a government worker as the CEO of a transportation district. And so the government, I can tell you right now, there are people running around swarming the government who do not like anything out of compliance. And so anytime we have the wrong paper or the wrong style of paper, the wrong weight, they will throw those signatures out. And so it's very critical we get this stuff right. But first, we'll get to that. But first, I want to go back over here and show you the cover sheet. This is the cover sheet. You're going to go over here and download it. You know, if you're on a PC, you can download it and you got to print it. And it has all the instructions. It names the petitioners, and it gives you the instructions for circulators and all that stuff, and for signers. And then boom, 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 and what it's against the law. And that's it. That's the cover sheet. This has to go with every single signature form, okay?
Well, read it so that you know what your requirements are. I think that's really important. Like,
Yep.
Don't take our word for it. Know what your requirements are. If you are gathering signatures, you're responsible for the signatures that you're gathering. And just a word of caution, and I will put all this in the training, but a word of caution that you can cause an entire sheet to be thrown out if there are certain things that are missed, because number one, the state of Oregon does not like this. They don't want it to happen. They will use any excuse they can to throw petitions out. So it's important that you understand what your roles and responsibilities are. But so read it. If you want to take on this role, make sure that you know how to collect petitions. Sorry, Ben, go ahead.
Absolutely. And then, so if you're a circulator, it means that you are gathering signatures on behalf of the petition and you're watching it. So these are the rules for circulators, and we're going to go over all that next week. So, but basically the big thing about being a circulator is you have to watch them sign it. Okay. You have to, and then you attest to it, and we'll show you that. But, mostly right now, it's just signers, and signers, this has to go with that sheet. So when you mail it back to us, this cover sheet has to be with whether you have an E form or a 10 line. The next one here is the full amendment text. It is against the law to allow anyone to sign this without the full text of the amendment. So this has to be attached as well to anything that you're circulating. I believe that for the e-sheet, you only need the cover sheet. You don't need the full amendment. It's assuming you've read it. So,
well, the e-sheet is the personal one. So, so actually it's really important. And I want to say this, you do not print these out and mail them to people. It's illegal. You cannot do that. The only way that these can be printed is if somebody asks you to print on their behalf. So like, let's say you printed out a handful of them and just started like handing them out on the streets for people to sign. That's illegal. You don't want to do that. If a family member of yours says, oh, I'm interested in that, could you print a sheet out for me? You can do that for them. But you can't just mass print the singular sign sheets. Very important.
Very important. And in fact, even reading into some of this stuff, it's probably the safe way to go, that like if you and your spouse sign it at home, just do that. But if you have someone outside of your home, have them go to endvbm.com/sign petition and download the e-sheet and print it themselves, because it's just a way to do it in case something happens. All it takes is somebody to infiltrate our group and say, oh yeah, I got it. She gave it to me and I signed it. And that creates issues. So full text amendment, this is the e-sheet. Okay. So I'm going to show you the e-sheet. This is this is what you would print and sign yourself and mail it in. This is all it is. And you're just going to you certify that you printed this, boom, boom, boom. And you sign it, you print your name, you put the date, you put your address, and then leave that blank. And then you just mail it in with the cover sheet. And that's how you do a single signature, basically online. And the 10-line sheet, I'm just going to show you where you get it. You print this up, and then you're going to get these signatures. You're the circular. You sign that, you print your name here, but you have to see everybody sign this. And they all have to be registered voters, and you don't want people signing it more than once. Sometimes it's crazy how many people will sign up for email communications 10 times. And I'm like, just check your spam folder, you're in. But, make sure that you, if you're circulating, that you don't let, to the best of your ability, someone do it twice. Because if they find a double signature, they might throw out an entire sheet. So that's how they do it. Does that make sense? And we'll dive into this deeper tomorrow, but if you want to go get 10 signatures, go do it, but make sure you see everybody sign it. Make sure that the cover sheet and the full text of amendment is with your 10-line. You can staple them together. You can bind them in any way you want to. And then you can get those signatures that way. And then I'm going to go over, and I see Roxanne, who's actually a lot of experience with this, has her hand up. So I want to get to her. But before I do that, I'm going to go over, when scrolling down, the mission critical instructions here. All sheets must be printed on 8.5 by 11. Okay. If it's not on 8.5 by 11, we got to throw it out when we get it in the mail. So 8.5 by 11, 20 pounds. Okay. All paper has to be at least 20 pounds and has to be uncoated. That just means matte. It means it's not a gloss. You got to make sure that it is uncoated. You can see it in the, when you purchase paper from online or Office Depot or whatever, you can see if it's coated or uncoated. You do not want coated paper. It will not work. All the signatures you get on coated paper will be thrown out. 20 pounds means 500 sheets weighs 20 pounds. And it'll tell you the weight of the paper, 20, 80, 60, whatever it might be. And the lower weight, usually the cheaper the paper. So check it, make sure it's at least 20 pounds. No one is paid circular, so we're not going to be using different colored sheets yet, but we'll do that when we get there. 10-point font, fair enough. We're not rebuilding the forms. We're using their forms, so we should be good there. And the exact copy of the text of the prospective petition has to be attached to each cover and signature sheet. So, well, maybe we do put the text with the single signature. Do that just to be safe. But that's why
generally you do. Generally, the way that it happens is you have the information on the back of the sheet and you have the signing on the front of the sheet. The other thing is eventually, you guys, we've seen some criticism of this online, like, why aren't you guys just sending out packets for people to sign? We haven't raised any money yet. I don't know if everybody realizes this, but have you tried to print anything lately? It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And if we were to print and mail all of these things out to the entire state, although Ben and I both, I think, would love to be independently wealthy. We are not. We are humble servants of this state, and we do not have the funds to print everything out and make sure it's perfect right now and send it out. But that is a goal that we have in the future. We're hoping that our grassroots people will pay attention to the rules, not move forward hastily, and we'll make sure that we can sort of get this off the ground so that we can start raising the money we can to have these pre-printed packages for everybody and make it easier in the future. But sorry, that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, no, it makes total sense. The other thing is that, like, we could spend a lot of time doing that, but the reality is that let's build our infrastructure. Let's focus on a strategy that works. Let's get people, volunteers. Let's build an army, and that's managing the logistics of army building is very time consuming. So we have it here. Print it out. Go get it done. We could have 10,000 Oregonians doing this stuff, and we could have 260,000 signatures in 6 months. But to build that 10,000 Oregonians, it's going to take huge effort. It's already hard enough as it is to call 200 volunteers and make sure we get them activated. Roxanne, I am going to unmute you. And after that, if you have a question about any of this right now, raise your hand, and then we can move into, like, let's talk county, let's talk action. You should be unmuted. Hold on. I've clicked it. You're still muted, Roxanne. If she's on your phone, it's tough. You might have to go to a different screen to unmute. I wish I could just unmute you, but I can't.
That would be terrible if somebody could just unmute you.
Oh, yeah, that would be terrible.
I just think of it like my kids are screaming in the background. I'm like, nobody needs to hear that.
Or I'm on the phone call yelling at somebody.
Stay quiet. Well, maybe we'll come back to Roxanne.
Yeah, Roxanne, if you're on your phone, it's weird. You got to go to, like, a different screen to unmute, but I can't remember what it's anyway.
We had a couple of things in the chat. I don't know if we want to go.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, there she is. We got her. Okay, go ahead,
A pop-up just appeared. Yeah. Okay. So what I was going to say is I was just downloading these while we were on the phone. And when I downloaded this, my first effort came out like this. So you might have to change the orientation. See, it had the lines sideways across the middle of the page.
That is a great call out. You want to print in landscape.
Yeah, you've got to print, except this side is in portrait. So,
Yes.
So this is, you call them the instructions. You print these on the back so you make the 2 copies and then you go to your copy machine and you print a bunch of these on the front, and then you put them through again and you print this onto the back. And then you only have to have 1 copy with this, although I usually take 3 or 4 with me on account of if someone walks away with it, I can continue gathering signatures. But they have to download their own info sheets. You don't have to give these out, and you don't have to print one of these for each person that signs. This is the copy of the act. It must be available for them to read upon request, but they don't have to walk away with it. They would have to stand there and read it.
Thank you, Roxanne. That is such a good call out. And that's the same thing we've done at county fairs over and over with these petitions is you always make sure you have an extra because somebody's going to walk away with it. But yes, it has to be available if people want to read the full act. Absolutely.
Yeah. And if it's not
Amazing call
available,
out.
you have to stop.
Yep.
And the chief petitioners, can be criminally held liable for what we do. So we do have to follow the rules. And
Thank you. That's why we are making the rules very clear on the website. We're actually, so we're going to do a training next week, but I'm also going to have a video posted on the website where you can download the petition so that people can actually watch it and step by step follow. But hey, Roxanne, if you would like to help me maybe with that video, I would love to pick your brain and
sure.
have assistance. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I've been doing trainings for this for years and years.
Oh my gosh, that would be awesome. I'm going to put my number in the chat, and if you want to just text me, yeah, we can coordinate.
It started with AFP back in 2010,
Yay.
There we go. Let's go. I love that stuff. You guys connect, get your numbers and all that in the chat. And then there's another, I'm looking through just the chat right now. Trisha was talking about a couple thoughts, guidelines we should follow when canvassing. Yes, precincts. So here's where we're at with that. Right now, we need 1,000 signatures. While we're getting those 1,000 signatures, I think we can do it by talking to friends and family, taking it to church, getting into some pretty warm and friendly scenarios. We will also, we're in the process of establishing our PAC and establishing bank accounts and stuff like that. It already is costing money out of our pockets. For the PO box, Michaela's paying for that. I'm paying for our email system and our CRM and website and all that stuff. And we need to get, and we will get a platform to track voter data so that we can have walk lists and we can go talk to likely signers like Republicans. So when you look at it by precinct level, we'll build it all out. You have an app on your phone, but that costs a lot of money, especially statewide. So for my race, we used a platform for our political races that we manage. We use a platform called Numenar, and the data is far better than what we would get from the GOP. So and it's a much more powerful system, but it's expensive. So for my race, it would cost $800 a month to leverage the software in a House district. Statewide, it could be upwards of $5,000 a month. It's a lot of money. So we're looking at alternatives that we can use that are as fast and effective. It also allows us to do some texting and stuff like that. But one of our volunteers that I spoke to a couple weeks ago specializes in CRM or customer relationship management development software, which we also use, HubSpot, and that's expensive. But we're working on building one of our own that can eliminate huge amounts of costs for texting and for emailing and all that. Because I have 50,000 emails of people who have opted into my emails in the last 4 years. I can't even afford to email them. It would cost me $5,000 a month just to keep those 50,000 in a CRM that's decent with automation and everything else. And I see Connie, you're just nodding your head. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? I got to unmute Connie. Hold on. You're getting unmuted. Deschutes County.
Hello.
Hello. You are in marketing or something.
Yeah, well, I was, but yeah, I know all about CRMs. And here in Deschutes County, as the vice chair of the Deschutes Republicans, we use Nation Builder.
Yeah.
And so we have all kinds of voter data. We send out emails every month. We have our email subscriptions, but yes, it's not cheap. And yeah, so I've been in that world for a while. I know what you're talking about.
So you're the vice
Connie's
chair.
awesome.
You're the
By the
vice
way,
chair of the Deschutes County Republicans.
Yeah.
Connie is very well known, Ben, by the
Well,
way.
she's familiar. I've talked to you before, haven't I?
No, we haven't talked.
What? That can't happen anymore. Now we've talked. You can say it. Do you want to be our Deschutes County director?
I'd be happy to be. I just don't want to step on toes. I don't know if you have anybody or not yet.
If we did, we wouldn't. I wouldn't be asking you like
Okay.
this.
Because I want to share the wealth. I
Yeah.
already do a lot here, but I'm happy to take this on too because I am passionate about this.
Good. We're looking for, I think that the county director position is good for politics. It's good if you have if you're working in that realm. One of the things that these things can do is it can create new leaders that people create ground games from this. And so I think it's really critical. So it's official. You got my number in the chat. Text me so I can be in communications, and congratulations.
Tony is in such a difficult area too. Like, I just have
Yeah.
to give you props for stepping up. I mean, it's not easy there. I've heard about the struggles that you guys have. I think, Connie, we may have talked. I'm not sure, but I know of the struggles that Deschutes County has had to deal with. Also, I'm promising that Ben's going to be in the area, I think, in February.
Let's do an event. I'll give the crowd a show.
I've been pushing him to go over there.
You should
but
come to our
yeah,
central committee meeting in February.
Yes,
When is it?
see, I knew there was going to be one. What's the date? I bet it's meant
It'll
to be.
be whatever the fourth Wednesday is in February.
Ooh,
That's close, Michaela. That's close to that conference.
I know. I told you it's a meant to be thing. Anyway, he's going to be over there, so I'll meet up with you.
I'd
Awesome.
love to come jazz up the Republicans in Deschutes County. They need
Yes.
some jazzing. They've been under Tim Knote for too long.
Yes, well, and we are very passionate about election integrity here in the
Yeah.
Deschutes Republicans.
Yeah. Do you guys have an election integrity team?
Yeah, so Deborah Lee, she's been the
Yep,
chair
I
of the
know
Election
Deb.
Integrity Committee. Yep, and I've been on that committee for the last couple of years as well. Yeah, but we kind of took a hiatus with the elections in 2024. But like I said at our reorganizational meeting, November 21st, where I got reelected as vice chair again, I gave a presentation to everyone and I talked about this ENDVBM, Ben and Michaela. And at the time when I was presenting to them, because in Deschutes County, we have a lot of problems with our elections here. And I have charts and visuals that show the shenanigans that happened in 2020.
We want to put all that stuff on NVBM.com. We are going to be putting out a data bank on the website to show from high level, deep dive, the data Dr. Frank presented last week. We want data from every county. We got data from Washington County. We got data from races. There's so many things that are screwy. And we are going to put out so much information that people can see. And we're going to challenge Kotek to prove that our elections are legit. And
Exactly.
they're going to put out no data because they don't have any.
Exactly. Yep.
Signature match.
Yep.
Okay.
100% agree.
So welcome aboard, I'm stoked. We'll talk offline about how we move forward in terms of these weekly calls. We want to have directors give reports on these calls so everybody can see what counties are doing what and how many signatures we're getting out of each county. Let's make it competitive. And then we're going to be able to really just fire people up. And we're going to race to the victory, which the victory here, like I've said from the very beginning, you can't vote your way out of a fixed election system, but you can get it on the ballot. And if you get it on the ballot, Tobias Reed has to answer questions. If you get it on the ballot, Tina Kotek has to answer questions. And if we get it on the ballot, Donald Trump can say, look, they hate this vote by mail crap in Oregon too. Look at this army of citizens who've got this thing on the ballot. They got 270,000 signatures. Like, this is legitimate political maneuvering that puts them in a corner. It's a gambit, and they're not going to be able to win. And it's a powerful strategy.
One of the reasons I brought it up at the reorg is it was because this is the time.
Yep.
This is the time. We just finished the most important election of our lives. Now it's time to redirect, and we've got to focus on election integrity in Oregon. This is
Thank
it
you,
right
Connie.
now.
You are so right on this. There are a lot of people that are challenging. Why are you doing this? Why are you moving forward? This is so fast. Well, should we wait and think about it? No.
No, we've been
This
waiting
is
too
the
long.
time.
We've been waiting too long. And now that we
We
have Trump,
have.
the Republicans in DC, we have the wind behind our backs. This is the perfect time for you guys. Kudos to you guys for bringing this forward at this time. I would have loved to have done this like 2 years ago, or you guys did
Hey,
it 2 years
it's
ago.
you
It
too.
wasn't the
You are
time.
now
It
part of
wasn't
the
the
leadership
time.
team.
It wasn't the time.
Yep.
You're
It
part of
wasn't.
our leadership team, Connie. Let's do this together.
Yep, this is it. Our arms are wide open. In fact, I don't know if you guys follow us on X, but okay. So the ORP started trolling on my platform and being like, well, I don't know if this is a good idea. And I'm kind of like, oh, you really? Let's repost that. Let's see what people think. And they got, peppered. And then of course Justin Huang called me up, and Angela Plowhead called me up, and they're like, "Hey, let's get on a call tomorrow." And I was like laughing because I'm like, "Well, yeah, of course they want to get on a call," but they didn't even admit to even knowing anything about that. They're like, "Oh, we didn't know anything about that. Oh my god!" And I'm like, "Sure, yeah, right." But next on Monday, they've told me yesterday. We had another call yesterday, and they said they're going to take this to the executive committee for a full endorsement by the ORP. And,
Yay!
and I think that's a smart move to make. If the executive committee does not endorse this, then it's gonna be as a result of corruption, because everyone, this is the right move. I have some people that I work with for many years here that are very smart politically, that I always bounce things off of. And two of them are my chief petitioners, Jonkus and Hammerson. But we have. But I've had some of the smartest people that I know tell me this is a bad idea, but not tell me what's a better idea. And the other ideas they're telling me are absolutely weak, no doubt about it. And I called them out on bullshit because I know these people. They're not that dumb.
And I heard the ORP is working on other avenues for election integrity with the RNC and some lawsuits, which is great, but we really need this too. We should be battling this from many different sections, right?
100%.
Like there should be simultaneous campaigns going on in all different areas. So I'm very supportive of this. I'm supportive of whatever the ORP is trying to do with the RNC and all that stuff. But yeah, so.
No, I agree
Exactly,
too. We need two things. We need to end vote by mail. And if we can't do it because we can't vote our way out of a fixed system, we can at least put the pressure on. If we can get enough Oregonians to wake up here, okay, during the next 2 years, then sheriffs can step up and feel like they have the support of their people to say, we're going to lock our county down. Elections are in person. F you, Secretary of State, because sheriffs have the constitutional authority to do that. And so when our next move, this is the gambit. They're damned if they do, damned if they don't. They're not going to be able to prove that the elections are legit because they can't. And if people wake up, we can have counties across the state of Oregon in 2026 with sheriffs locking up the elections and having the voter rolls and having the elections in person, because we're going to have the federal government's backing. So this is the move, man. This is the move. And so I've told this to Huang. I told this to the people in the ORP that are up high. And they know that this is the right move. Now they're in a pickle because they have to take it to the executive committee. And if the executive committee says no to this, I'm telling you, it's corruption. It is not because it's a bad idea. This is the only move we got as a party in this state, as people in this state.
I hope it will go. I hope it will pass. I'm a non-voting member on that committee, so I don't get a vote, but I can have some insight into it at the meeting on that Monday. And like you said, you're absolutely right. I don't care. Even if this doesn't pass, this is a fantastic opportunity to educate Oregonians. At the minimum, that's what this does. And that's what we need to do, because the masses are totally asleep to all this stuff.
Yep.
They're asleep to it.
They're asleep.
I agree with
This
you.
is fantastic what you guys are
Well,
doing.
and that's what Dr. Frank said. He said, we need to attack this from all angles. This petition standalone is not necessarily the winning strategy. It's going to take multiple angles. And one of the things that unfortunately Republicans do is they go, I'm an independent thinker, and this is what I think is going to fix it. And then what they do is they reject everybody else's effort to try to fix it. And so what we need to do is we need to support all of the efforts that are combining together to end vote by mail, to return to having voter ID, cleaning our voter rolls, all of these things that are election integrity that we believe in. And we need to support each other instead of tearing each other down. That's something the Republicans are so terrible about, is they constantly are tearing people down. And so that's really the direction that I see this going, is if you talk to people, if you know people in your party, encourage them to support this and also support other things. We can do more than one thing at a time. Ben, can
100%.
we address a couple of the things in the chat? There
Yeah.
are some things that have come up. Just first of all, I want to thank the people from the state of Washington that have joined. So our website does advertise that this is a group effort for Washington, Oregon, California. Obviously, Ben and I are from Oregon. We're working on the petition for Oregon. We also thank you guys so much for showing up from the state of Washington. We want to help you guys initiate something similar in your state. If there's any resources we can provide, your laws are different. We're going to have to specifically look at that. But if there are people who are willing to step up and want to start initiating something similar in the state, please feel free to reach out to us. Both Ben and I have put our phone numbers in the chat so you can reach out to us personally. I just wanted to address that because those were sitting in the chat for a little bit. We have some other questions too.
Yeah, I'm catching up on chat. There's a lot of messages. I'm like, okay, wait a second. I'm like, shrink my screen. Yes.
Follow at Amy_McDavis on X. By the way, she's amazing. Also, Major Patriot that just came to our organizational meeting and really spoke up. Very strong voice. Amazing conservative. I just am so happy to know her. So follow her on X, by the way. What else do we have in there?
Just cruising through here. Yeah, someone's like, don't shrink to fit when you print. That's key. Yeah, play with it. Make sure it looks good. It's like, make sure.
When is the executive committee deciding on support? Maybe Connie can speak to that. I think she can still unmute herself. I don't know when the next executive committee meeting is for the ORP.
I have it on my calendar, December 23rd.
Perfect. Okay.
And I'm saying that because it's awful close to Christmas. I haven't heard of any canceling or postponing, but that's what I have on my calendar right now.
Yeah, okay, it might happen. The other thing is I don't know how many people are PCPs in this meeting, but if you are a PCP, the organizational meeting for the Oregon Republican Party is coming up. And if you are PCP, you probably understand what an organizational meeting is, but an organizational meeting is where you choose the leadership for the organization. The ORP's organizational meeting is in February. It is, I think, February 22nd. Meaning that we're going to have possibly a new chair, possibly a new vice chair, secretary, and treasurer. If you are looking to influence at all in your PCP, you could consider talking to your delegates for your county and encouraging them to support candidates who support and vote by mail. So that's something to consider. Also, sometimes your delegates can always bring a guest with them. Also, the ORP sometimes allows PCPs to attend as guests. So if you reach out to the secretary of the ORP, go to the Oregon Republican Party website, you probably can figure out whether or not you can attend as a guest. And that might be something to consider too. If you would like to put a little bit of pressure on, you could either write to them there, you can attend the organizational meeting, you can talk to your central committee, talk to the delegates in your central committee and encourage them to support candidates that support this. All right, let's see, what else do we have in here? I need to take my contacts out. I swear, I'm getting old.
Stephanie, I had you in my phone. I got your text.
God.
You were already in my phone.
Who was that, Stephanie?
Stephanie. Yep.
Aw.
Well,
Okay, Susan said, Michaela, free or low cost printing in Oregon. Here are some Oregon public libraries that offer free or low cost printing. Oregon City library card holders receive $1 free printing per day. This cannot be used for copies of Multnomah County Library offers. There's some other fine print in there. Hillsborough Library, Beaverton Library, Springfield and Eugene. I think I scanned through that. All of those offer low cost printing. The only caution I would throw out there, if it's low cost printing, just make sure that they're using the right type of paper. So even us as conservatives, we like a good deal, right? Who likes a good deal? You don't want budget paper. You want 20-pound paper. It's a little bit more expensive. It's a little hardier. You can't see through it as well. So if you're getting printing done at the library, just make sure, ask them, what the poundage is of their paper. You have to make sure, because if it isn't the correct type of paper, it will be rejected. That's my only, but thank you so much for that suggestion, because that could be a really good option for some people.
Stephanie, you're unmuted.
So the reason why I'm in your phone is because I'm one of the people who's suing the Portland Teachers Union.
Oh my God. Your kids go to Lincoln, right?
My kid goes to Franklin. But
okay.
my other kid went to Cleveland at the time. So
Awesome.
there were 2 kids in school. So I'm doing that. I haven't heard back from them for a while. I should check in on them. It takes years to do this shit. So
it does.
Anyway,
it does.
That was basically it. And I guess I think I know nothing about the Republican Party in Oregon. I don't. So when I went to that website for the Oregon Republican Party events, there's nothing on there. There's no event.
They're really bad about
what's going on, but there's nothing to see there.
If you're used to Democrat stuff, they're far more advanced. But we're working on it. It's a work in progress.
We all have lives. That's why.
That's really important, though. It's important to become a precinct committee person. If you are not involved in your county party, look up Dan Schultz precinct strategy. Just take a second and Google Dan Schultz precinct strategy. You can read about why it's important to become a precinct committee person. It's important because we have the Republican Party mostly on autopilot, being run by people who have always run it. And if you know anything about the Oregon Republican Party, it's pretty ineffective in Oregon. And it's because we don't have a lot of competition. Competition breeds, great candidates, great everything. So we're not having a lot of that. I would encourage you to figure out where your Republican headquarters is. If you have one, if you have an actual, location, go in there and talk to them and ask how to become a PCP, a precinct committee person. It's important. So that's my plug. The Republican Party has not been good for me. I'm still promoting them. I'm hoping to change it from the inside out. It's a mess. We need more people involved. So do it.
Yeah, well, that's very helpful, because I don't know where to start. So that's very helpful. And then I guess if I could find one other person in Multnomah County to canvass with, I would feel safer. This is not a safe place for people who aren't leftists. I'm not going to call them liberals and call them leftists.
Yeah, they're not liberals. I'm a liberal.
I'm totally a liberal. My parents went to college. I went to college. Whatever. So if I had one other person to do it with, I'd be happy. I was wondering if you could share the people, you said you have thousands of people who emailed you off the website, who you could divide that up among us and give us.
Yeah, we have 200 volunteers right now. We have about 200 volunteers, but Stephanie, we definitely have other people in Multnomah County. We will identify those and we're going to connect you guys. That is actually our goal. Ben and I have not been able to call every single person. We're really trying, but we have not been able to do that. We want to organize it so that, you guys can connect with each other and be safe. Exactly.
And Stephanie, I have a lot of contacts in Multnomah County. I know a lot of influencers in Multnomah County. I know politicians in Multnomah County that are like, what's wrong with the Democrats? I'm like, they've been one their whole life, but they're also feeling like they're not Democrats anymore. So we'll get you connected,
Yeah.
Stephanie. It means a lot to me that you told me about that lawsuit, because the first parent, I got approached by that legal team asking for Multnomah County plaintiffs, and I put it out on X, and the first plaintiff, I believe, was that you?
I don't know. You're the only one who knows. But
Yeah. So, but is there any other plaintiffs with you, or the only one?
There's like 2 other plaintiffs the last I checked.
Yeah. So
more.
one of the plaintiffs, their kids went to Lincoln, and that was the first plaintiff. And so I made that lawsuit happen by connecting them and getting that done. And I love that lawsuit because it's genius.
I'm super happy about it because I have been a PPS parent for something like 15 years.
Yeah.
So I've been around there actually 17 years. So, it's been a long time, and boy, do I have the stories.
I bet.
It's not okay what they do there.
It's not.
I mean, and actually, I'm going to give them some credit because I don't want to be one of these extremist people who always is so black or white. My sons have had really good teachers in their schools who are awesome teachers.
Yes.
Of all kinds, from music, art, to all kinds of stuff. And yeah, some of them are definitely in that leftist bullshit, but not all of them.
Not all of them are.
There's a lot of people bucking that system from within.
There
are a lot of people, and they tend to be competent ones, so they tend to stick around. So I don't think I'm going to say that it's a lost cause at all.
It's not.
But teachers union is full of shit. So
they are full of shit. Yeah. Absolutely. I have the same. My son was part of public schools for a while until I got full custody. Now he's in TTSD, which is the worst. It's even worse than Portland. Some of the stuff they do is crazy. But I know all the teachers. They know me. All the good teachers. Oh, it's awesome. And my stepson, he's 14. I've been with him through TTSD. We've met the most badass patriotic teachers. I'll tell you, it is not the teachers. There's a few. But I'm with you. So
it's the administration. It's the administration, and the administration. I saw some numbers on X the other day. The administration expenses have gone up astronomically. They've gone up maybe 20 times what they were in the 80s. So all the money's being spent on them. The teachers are just there doing their teaching job. They're not.
And
part of
NGOs, DEI,
exactly.
NGOs.
Yep, that's what it is.
There's so much money going to that, and they call it administrative, but that's where the money's going. It's an income redistribution from the working class to the political class. That's all it is, and it's across the board. So, hey, I love that.
The Marxist nucleus is there. They've been pushing this equity shit I remember when they started sending out equity shit, the DEI type shit to all the parents, and the language changed sometime around 2012, 2014. And it suddenly was all about equity and inclusion. Every message they ever sent from then on out was that, not about, we have, programs for gifted and talented. And that never came up anymore. That was over.
Those are over.
Yeah, and so the whole thing has been, so they teach activism.
Hey, you guys, if you are not on X, I think we should start X Spaces like once a week where we can just talk about this stuff. Because Stephanie, you're saying these things that I think are just like echoing with every single person on the call. Like all of us are dealing with this.
Old experience.
It's amazing. And this is how we build community, you guys. This is why the Democrats have won, because Republicans by nature are very independent. We all want to do our own thing. We want limited government. We want small government. And then we don't engage in these really important conversations. And I feel your pain, Stephanie. Like, I think all of us do. So anyway, if you guys are on X,
Stephanie, what's your X handle? I'm going to follow you right now.
Stumptown Girl, GRL. Stumptown Girl. I think you might find me. Or
Ben, when you find it,
do you have a cat?
Yeah, an ugly cat going.
A white cat?
I think I might be following you, Stephanie. But Ben, can you send it to me just in case?
Non-binary politically?
Yeah, well, that's to trick people into clicking on my name.
Okay, I got you now. Yeah. Well, let's get towards wrapping this up.
Well, hold on. Connie's got her hand up.
Oh, Connie, where are you at? There you are.
Thank you. I just wanted to echo Michaela. I love that you gave that message about getting involved in your.
Froze.
Oh, she froze.
Oh no. I was
Mhm.
hoping I didn't freeze, but I didn't want Connie to freeze. Maybe
Give her
she'll
a
come back.
sec.
Yeah, give her a
Whether
second to
you're-
load.
Whether you're part of it or not.
Okay, you froze up that whole time, so reset.
Start over.
Sorry. Am I good now?
You're good
You're
now.
good.
You just
Okay,
came back.
Okay, so I was saying is I appreciate Michaela giving that message about getting involved in your county parties and becoming PCPs and having voting rights in your county Republican Party. That's where it all starts, to start making a difference, and then for it to trickle up through the rest of the party. And so I was also saying, even if you're not a PCP yet in your county party, it still would not hurt to approach those who are in your party and see when their next central committee meeting is, for you to come and have 5 or 10 minutes to present this ENDVBM petition and get them all to sign it. So please consider that. And then also, sometimes instead of canvassing, you can also get a better return on investment if you go to an event. If you have any type of Christmas bazaars at the fairgrounds coming up, or anything in like any type of event, and bringing petitions, and Ben was saying your church, but if there are any type of events, you could set up a booth and help educate folks too. Thank you.
Connie, you're the
100%.
best. I love it.
100%. We want to get in, once we start getting political directors in place, then it's like, let's have an event. Let's make an event. Let's do stuff. And then when we get our systems in place for canvassing, after our 1,000 signatures, we'll be having canvassing events, just like it's a campaign. And we'll knock on likely signers, Republicans, NAVs, whatever. And so, okay, Stephanie, you and I are going to be talking. You're going to probably be the Multnomah County director. I'll get you connected with people. Real fast before we go, can people sort of, let's unmute some people and see like what counties they're in, so that we can start connecting. And Jeff, how about you? Do you mind? I'm going to ask people to unmute. Let's just go through.
Hey, Jeff.
Hey,
there?
Yeah, Douglas County.
Yeah.
I know, Jeff. I know. I'm so excited he's here. He was at our organizational meeting. He witnessed the chaos.
The Roseburg 6?
No, the recent organizational, yeah, we'll talk about it at a different time, but he was there. It was a mess.
Jeff,
Oh,
glad
yeah.
you're here. There's a lot of people who've signed up out of Roseburg in District 1. I love that. We've got a base down there. We got a base up here. And that's how we got to roll. And then if Jason were on the call, we've got a base in the Eastern Oregon too. So this is kind of how we're rolling. Corey, you're in Marion County. We need people to be a point of contact to lead these this county effort. Justin, where are you from, man?
Wayne County.
Lane.
Yep.
You interested
Yeah,
in
and you could.
in being our primary contact in Lane County?
Oh yeah, that'd be fine.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
You know what? I think we've sort of dividing the line. Michaela, do you want to take Lane County? I know a lot of the volunteers I've put onto you that are anywhere Eugene and down. And
Yeah, I'm fine with doing, more of Southern Oregon. Obviously, up in your area is a little bit busier. You have a lot more people up there. So I'm fine with taking a bigger geographic area, but I am not sitting at my computer right now. So we can download things from the chat. If you are going to take on a county, could you please put your name and phone number in the chat, or send it over to us, just so that we can, capture the stuff and move forward with it.
Yep, that's a great way to go. Justin, throw your name, county, and then just say you want to lead Lane County. We'll get you in there and let's get going. Are you a Republican, PCP? What party are you in?
Republican Party. I have actually just this year, I did look into becoming a PCP. So I did gather all the information and need to act on it.
Go act on it, because that's the biggest. That's a big piece of it. They got a pretty decent party down there. And then what's the one next to Lane?
Lincoln? Lincoln?
Lynn County, maybe. Yeah, I can't remember. Anyway,
Yeah, Lynn.
Lynn.
yeah. Let's get in there. We'll get to know each other.
What do you? Yeah.
Yep, and we'll get to know each other and start rocking. Amanda, how about you? I'm unmuting you right now. There you go.
I'm near Justin. I'm just west of him in Benton County.
Amanda
Okay,
and
wonderful.
I spoke, Ben. Actually, we talked about this amazing lady. And by the way, you got attacked, Amanda, at our last meeting. I'm so sorry. She's
It's all
in
right.
Benton County, though, and she has a pretty good reach in Benton County.
Okay, wonderful. Are you the brand?
Relax. She
Okay.
is.
I remember you. All right.
Yeah,
So you're in what county? You said Benton?
Benton. Yep.
All right.
Blue seat Benton.
Good. You're our Benton County leader. That's going to be Michaela too. So, but my number's in there. Get my number and text me, because if you can't reach her, reach me. If you can't reach me, reach her. Jonkus is focused on the legal stuff. He's super busy. He won't be on a lot of these calls. He'll be on some of them. But as far as actively managing the effort, it's really on Michaela and I. So, James Nelson, where are you from, man?
Umatilla County.
Umatilla County. You want to be our Umatilla County director? We need one.
Well, I don't know just yet. I need to check out the outfit over there at Milton Freewater with them first and see what they've got going on. But yeah, I'm very interested.
Great, James. Hit me up. Text me, please. That's going to be North. That's going to be me. And so I got family in Fossil, man. My wife's from Fossil, Oregon. So Wheeler County, the only county without a Republican Party. And I'm proud to say, but we got lots of aliens over there. But nonetheless, we do.
Kind of aliens.
It's crazy. I'll put some stuff on X.
The legal ones or the other kind?
The ones that are not from this earth.
Oh,
The
yeah.
kinds on Netflix.
The aliens,
Oh, no.
and I'm like, yeah, you're more welcome.
you mean the Iranian mothership has made it all the way to Oregon?
Yep.
That's great.
They passed right over Oregon and went straight to New Jersey, apparently. But Umatilla County, I actually know, I think the sheriff, what's his name? Your Umatilla sheriff? Is it,
You muted him.
he muted himself. There we go.
I can't remember his name, but he just got reelected again.
Yeah, that's my guy. He's a badass. We've done events with him before.
Yeah, it's Umatilla County. It's not
Yeah.
Umatilla.
Umatilla.
It's Oregon.
Yeah,
Oregon.
it's actually a Native American name, so it's
I
not
love it.
Hispanic.
My wife would know. Stephanie, I went to Benson and Grant. Okay. So I still don't know how to pronounce our counties on the East, but
Yeah, you guys are like, yeah,
yeah, don't hold it against me.
lower grade high schools. Yeah. That's awesome.
Trisha,
Umatilla County is awesome. Yes.
Trisha, where are you from?
Hey, I'm from Clackamas County. I'm actually a
Whoop, whoop.
Yep.
CP.
Right on, Trisha. Thank you. We did choose a Clackamas County director. It's Lori Wood. Where is she? Smallwood. Lori Smallwood. She's a city councilor in Sandy. She ran for mayor. There's a lot of weird election stuff there. It's crazy how these people on the left won all these seats in Clackamas County when they're in places like Estacada and Sandy, and you're like, how did you win? How did Mark lose? Like, this is the fireside. Like, it makes no sense at all. So, Trisha, welcome aboard.
Trisha, big call out for Clackamas County.
Oh, yeah.
Seriously, you guys are amazing. And Rick Riley, we love him. He is such a patriot. Do I recognize you from the prayer team? Are you on the prayer team for Clackamas County? I recognize your face from somewhere.
Well, not yet, but I have been in contact with a couple of them.
Okay, we've probably seen each other at some point. I love Clackamas County. I actually was far east Gresham before I moved, and I always say I was on an unfortunate county line because I identified as Clackamas County. So I
Yeah.
love you guys. You're amazing.
Wonderful. This is so wonderful. All right. What we're going to do is we're going to create new lines of communication with county leaders. We'll create them into our leadership. We got to build this leadership team. And we did this with Free Oregon. We had county directors, and that's what really led to being able to get information out of the county and then get information into the county. And then this is how we built that movement. We're going to do it again here. So we'll create some like email communication threads and maybe even some text message threads where we can all be on these threads. So Roxanne, we've been told that you are the GOAT of initiative petitions, and just in case you didn't know what that means, it's greatest of all time. And so that's just to make sure that you understand that is a huge compliment. I've had multiple people from Clackamas County tell me to work with you and make sure that you're helping guide our initiative management, our petition management process. So we're going to get you involved, especially with me and Michaela, and make sure that we're doing things right and that we're getting it done. So whether you pray or not, I'd always like to say it's never a bad time than now to get started. Paul, Preacher Paul's here. He's been with me since day one in politics, and I think he brings an extra special firepower, and I like it when he takes us out of a meeting. You there, Paul?
Make sure to unmute him.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yes. Hi, Paul. Thanks.
Hey guys. You guys were when you guys were talking, I reminded of, just as we all have, of just what we've been through in Oregon in the last 5 years, and in that time I've met so many amazing people. In their way, have just decided, enough's enough. I want to get involved. So Lord, I just thank you for all these people on this call that have decided to be leaders and to get in the game, God. I know anything, even our nation started with people coming together under this thing called freedom. So Lord, I just thank you that courage is contagious. I just thank you that when people come together with a common goal, a common purpose, for ultimately what we're fighting for is the freedom of our children, that they can live in a place that we lived, where we could accomplish what we wanted and go after these things under the banner called freedom, God. So I just ask for creative revelation, ideas. I just thank you, even as everybody hangs up on this call, God, you're going to give them ideas and designs, whether it's people to talk to, whether it's places to go, whether it's hard conversations with family members. I just pray that, I thank you that it never negates small beginnings. So I thank you for everybody on this call that's making a decision to do something. It starts there. We're in this mess, as it says, but all tyranny has to do to reign is when for good people to do nothing. So I thank you for these people that are deciding to do something, and I praise you that we have an opportunity to be on this side of history. There's a movement going on. There's an awakening happening. And I just pray that we would realize not only where we are, but what's at stake. And it's truly the future and freedom of our children. In your name, amen.
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 We'll see you guys
Thank
next
you
Thursday.
so much.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, everybody. We'll be in touch all throughout the week. Let's kick some ass.
Thank you, Patriots. Let's do this.